Hello, good morning. I'm Michelle. Um, I just felt kind of called to start making. Actually, I haven't just. I've felt like I've needed to kind of share my experience, share my story, and share um, how I went from like burned out, a really bad mindset, like lots of hormonal issues, and went on this like I suppose healing journey, call it that. Um, and I'm suddenly seeing like all the benefits. It's kind of like where everything comes together. And yeah, I just want other people to feel this way, to just feel like lighter, less like less of that inner critic, better mindset. Period problems and hormonal problems, all the health issues have like resolved. And it's from doing things I didn't know I was meant to be doing. I didn't even know they existed or that that was the issue. I was really trying to fix things from like outside myself. Like, obviously, we think of like taking supplements or medications or changing our diet. And I did all that and I do it to the extreme. If anyone's into human design, I'm pretty sure I have that, whatever channel it is, that I go to extremes. Like, I get into something, and not only do I change my diet, but I went and became a clinical nutritionist and became a functional nutritionist. And then I got into breathwork and I went and became a breathwork instructor because I want to help other people with that too. Because when you feel so great, this is the thing. When I was like, what triggered my whole journey really, well, there was probably stages of my life all along, but what really triggered it was I burned out to the point like I could not function. Like, I was just no good to anyone, like severe burnout, low energy, like getting every illness every month. I would get a new bug, cold, flu. I was I was like, do I have meningitis this month? Like, what's going on? And it would be like one step forward and 10 steps back, even though I was actually studying clinical nutrition at the time. The food and the lifestyle part and things like that, they definitely helped. But then something else would hit me, life would life, and you'd get hit back. And it was really hard to keep going because I was like, am I just going to be struggling, fighting against like my body and my health? And then, how I felt, how my body felt, that like reflected in my mind. And then it was really hard to do the things that would make me feel better because it was kind of like this negative mindset because your body mind are like they feed into each other. So it creates this like negative feedback loop that I thought I'd never get out of. And then I kind of realized there came a point I realized that I yeah, I had to stop like looking outside myself. I kind of, having tried all these things, kind of traced it back to the common denominator, that if everything was stressing me out and everything was making me sick and my body and nervous system just couldn't handle anything, then what's the common denominator? It's not trying to change everything outside of me. It was like how I was being, my thoughts, my beliefs, how I saw the world. And I went into like deep dive into nervous system work, nervous system regulation. Like I said, functional nutrition, learning all about our bodies, which then led me like a really, aha moment was like learning about women's bodies. And like, you think the way we have been taught, I've been taught like my whole life. I'm a dentist originally, so I had done a whole healthcare degree, and the emphasis on men versus women, ended at probably anatomy, and you have babies and you don't. But the actual differences, like how like the way we eat, the way we're meant to live, like the way we sleep, the way we approach things, like how medication or supplements affect our bodies differently, like things our body, it goes so much deeper than just you're a bit bigger and you're a bit smaller, but you should do that and eat the same things and act the same way. It broke my mind open to like the cyclical nature of like women's bodies and women's health and actually just nature in general. And men are much more linear and their bodies can handle a lot more stress. Whereas women's bodies are all about safety. And if we can't create safety, we have to do that for ourselves and stop looking for it always externally. So if you're somebody who really went deep dive into your nutrition, maybe you've seen nutritionists and you're on all these like different protocols and have all these different supplements and you're trying everything and like it gets you a little bit better, but like not really. It's you're missing like the inner piece, the changing actually your identity, your you know, trying to like dig out your actual values and are you living in accordance with those values? And then are your beliefs in accordance with these values? Because now health is like tippity top of my values because I realized being that sick, you cannot you cannot give from an empty cup. Like relationships suffered. I couldn't work. I couldn't live up to like what I was trying to do. I was very like type A, wanted to be perfect and achieve and do all the things and be productive. And a couple of years later, here I am, and I still kind of feel like that. But the way that I do it, my strategy is different because health is a priority for me. So I want to make sure that nothing I do compromises that because I see how important that is. Not only for me feeling good, but so that I can show up as like the best mom, so that I can show up. I feel like I really have this thing to like help women. Um, achieve their goals and like what they want to achieve, but from a way that doesn't compromise them, doesn't compromise their health or like who they want to be. They don't have to like abandon themselves anymore. You can achieve what you want and you can do it through more flow, more grace, more health. Um, and it can just feel more fulfilling. Um, yeah, so I used what did I use? Everything. And then I went and got qualified and everything. That's probably like a little bit of my type A, which isn't bad. One thing again, a law of the universe, like a thing that became very aware in all of this is the duality of life. So two things can be um true at once. I can still have those, what's called like a masculine energy. I can still achieve, I can still be productive, I can still like do the things I want to do. And it doesn't have to cost me other things. At the same time, I can do that in like a flow state. I can be happy and calm and relaxed and I can rest while doing that. While doing that, I didn't know that before. Any like hands up if you have any overachieving perfectionist tendencies. It's we're taught because of the way we're like conditioned and brought up, we think we have to hustle. We think to achieve something it's going to have to cost us something. And that's true, but doing it in like a more feminine way, and we still need, I'll do a whole thing on like feminine and masculine kind of energies and ways of being and how everyone has both. It's about like for me, I completely did not have the feminine way. Like everything was linear, everything had to be perfect. I had to do it this way. I had to make it like even the way I'm saying that, I had to make it. I like to be organized. I had to feel in control and all of this. Absolute shit show for female female hormones. Okay. You're going to be feeling like a big pile of poo if this is the way you are always, if you're always in that mode with no um, feminine qualities, no flow, no joy and relaxation, and um, doing everything from your mind instead of like intuitively. Or a big piece I was missing as well was really being in tune in my body. Everything was logical, everything was from my head. I didn't even know what it was like because I actually had a lot of issues in my body, a lot of stuck energy, a lot of, I suppose, trauma, stuck energy. I didn't know how to deal or process with my emotions. They were all still in there. 34 years of just shit hanging around in my body. So I was like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go. I don't want to deal with it. I think I'll just keep doing everything from my head until I burn out again. That'll be, yeah, that seems like a good plan until it wasn't, until like literally. So I hope this reaches you before you hit burnout because just know there's a different way. Like if you feel unaligned, and you don't need to feel unaligned, your body's telling you. If you've got any symptoms, if you were burned out, if you've got period problems, if you've got PCOS, endometriosis, PMS, massive mood swings around your period, and not just period problems. I'm on about any day of the week, any time of the month. Um, not at just the time of the month, but like, uh, you know, any day throughout your month, anytime. If you're waking up and you're in a foul mood every day, if you're just spontaneously crying and you're taking out your emotions on your loved ones, and afterwards you feel really guilty about it, like, why did I do that? Why didn't I act like that? This is not who I want to be. If you have you've got body goals, or you want to sort your health out, or maybe you want to start a business, or you want to there's something you want to achieve or do and you're not doing it. Why are you not doing it? It's like there's this is that you're like out of alignment. If deep down you want to do something, and you're not doing it, um then something's out of like alignment. And like I said, a lot of that will show up in your body, but it will also show up in your relationships and your work life and things like that. Everything's kind of a mirror. It's like when you out here, um, it's just we weren't taught, I suppose, the language of our body. We weren't taught that we could actually, you may not be able to control everything in your life, but you can control the way you react to it. And that secret is nervous system regulation, which that's thrown around a lot. And I feel, even I've read all the books. I've read all the books. I've done, guys, I can't even count how many courses and qualifications. Believe me, I've gone to the depths to get you this information for me. But now, because my cup is full, because I'm literally going on what, like, I was somebody I couldn't feel like I don't know, my emotions would just come out like negatively when I didn't want them to. And now I literally go on a walk. It feels like I just feel light. I just feel like happy. I can find happiness in like the little things. It used to be like that I had to get bigger and bigger, bigger things to make me feel anything. I had to go on holidays. I had to make like big purchases. I had to achieve some, even when I achieved big things, I would be happy for like a second, and then I'd be on to the next thing. I couldn't enjoy like the present moment because I wasn't in my body. I couldn't really feel my emotions. I was shutting them all down. And yeah, this is because we are afraid to feel. If you're resonating with this, obviously, if you're somebody, you're nice and regulated and everything, you probably don't have a load of hormonal issues, or you might get a cold and a flu here and then you recover easily. But this is like, I'm talking to the people with like, same shit, different day. Like, you're so sick of your own shit. Like, you can feel inside you're meant to, life isn't meant to be like this. It's meant to be better, or you're meant to do things, the things you want to do, not what other people told you or society tells you, or that like linear, you know, what you're expected to have at this age, a house, a family, a job, blah, 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 all this BS. It's like, what do you want to do inside? And if you don't already have that, or you're not like working towards it, then you are missing parts of this puzzle, which the puzzle is your physical. I'm talking about you, and it starts with you, sorry, because you can't change your external without changing inside, or you can't make permanent changes anyway to the outside. This is why people like yo-yo, their weight goes up and down, or you heal one issue, if you've got health issues and things like that, it might heal for a while and then it comes back. It's because you haven't got to like the real root of the problem. So there's the physical, there's the mental, like all your thoughts, beliefs, things like that, like conditioning in your mind. There is the emotional, like, again, you have to bring in the body piece. So this is really a top down and a body up approach is what I teach, and is what works, because it's kind of covering all the bases. And I say energetic, that could also be like spiritual to some people. It depends on where you're at with that, but like everything is energy. um what did they say about the Newtonian, like the atom, what we're taught, it's got the little nucleus and the electrons going around the outside, and then but what actually is like the nucleus, like you can't even see it. That's like a dot, and then the electrons are actually, the size of a football stadium or something like that going around it. Like, we are mostly like empty space. We are mostly just energy, like wavelengths and frequency and energy. So this is where, you walk into a room, you're like, "Ooh, vibes." Like, the vibes are off in here. That is like energy, because we at the very core. But when you are weighed down with limiting beliefs, beliefs, I'm a believer. Beliefs, and negative thoughts, and you haven't processed your emotion, you get like denser and denser, and your energy gets trapped. It gets like trapped within you, and this can come up as like anxiety and eventually depression when you suppress, when your body, you're like, I just can't deal with this, and you suppress it all, and everything feels really heavy and hard, and like nothing's ever going your way, and everything's really negative and dense, and it's like you have no control, yet you try to control everything, which is great, again, great for the old hormone. Great for the hormones. It's not. Um, so yeah, this is a really quick overview of things that I did, and now can help you do. Um, Obviously women, particularly, just because that is like where I kind of got. So I'll be sharing more about all of that. Um, and yeah, I'm really excited to share with you. I just want people, I don't know, to have the brainwaves. It took obviously different modalities. It was like, integrating the body and mind, getting to know like why we think the way we think and how our brain works and how our mind works. And then like energetics is so important. And also then like release block the body and get more in tune with your body and your intuition and things like that. And then there's obviously the physical things. This was like my bread and butter for years. This is what I did for like years, and I understood that, and I didn't get why I wasn't getting like the results. Especially, I was very, when I did clinical nutrition and then functional nutrition, I got so excited about it because I love like learning, and I was like, oh my god, this is the key. And then I realized like they were just going deeper and deeper and deeper into a rabbit hole. And like, if this doesn't work, then you take this supplement, and then that doesn't work, then you do this, and then you'd be like lymph draining yourself all day, and nervous, meditate all day and take 10 supplements, and make sure your eating's like on point. And then there was a point I was like, oh, this is kind of stressing me out more. Like, this is like not helpful. And it is important to like know what's going on in your body and like what to eat when you feel a certain way, and things like that, and that women's bodies are cyclical and we can get away with things sometimes, and then other times we need to like rein it in, and knowing what to eat and how to eat in those situations, really important. But also it just, again, you can feel it, like the structure, the masculine energy coming from that you have to have this like 20-point list to feel better. And if you don't, then you fall off the tracks. So integrating the energetic and the emotional stuff, that was like lowering the barrier to entry. I like to think of it as, it really like lowered the amount that like I needed to be doing externally, like the actions I needed to be taking, and like be really rigid with my lifestyle and nutrition. It really lowered that, because that helped regulate my body in itself. So I wasn't needing more and more nutrients and more energy, because my body wasn't in survival mode anymore. Um, so I think I'll leave it at there today. I don't know if I've wrapped that up. I just got called to like start recording this, and I hope it gives you kind of an overview, a little bit of what I do. I know I didn't go into specifics. It's because I have used a lot of different tools and everything in my programs. I like integrate them all together, and I've also my like signature program is like 6 months long, because it actually takes that long, to be fair, to get results. If you are this type of person, if you have had these like body issues and symptoms for a long time, or you've been in this way of trying to like hustle and force things, and you're not happy and you're anxious all the time and you're depressed. Yeah, it takes a bit of time to like get out of that, and the actual container creates like a safe space for you to get guidance and mentoring, and also the community vibe with other women, so that you know you're not alone, feeling like you're alone and you're broken and it's just you and you don't belong. Not helpful with healing, because that is so not true. You were probably thinking the same thoughts as somebody, 10 other people in the room, believe me, but we all wear masks, we all try and hide it. So that feeling of isolation, that feeling of being alone and nobody understands, that also like feeds into the problems that you're having in your body and your moods, and like how you're interacting with your life. So yeah, community is really important, so that you know you're not alone, and that you can kind of like relax, that feels relaxing when you're not on your own. I've got like a portal where you learn everything at like your own pace, kind of a thing. And then we also do like breath works to and the practices to release those kind of stored energies that like you may not be in touch with your body, you may not know how to do that, so it's like teaching you how to do that, and also getting into your like subconscious so that you can bring those up to release them. um and as I go on with this series, more videos and things like that, I'll go into more specific topics. And if you watch this, please reach out on Instagram or email me or wherever if there's things that you'd like to know, you want to elaborate on, or you have specific problems. Yeah, just reach out and like connect. So, yeah, talk to you soon.